Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move up the slope quiz. Like I said, I don't want to do it tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and do it today. So today's date is January 31st, Wednesday. The front of your opener asks you to find the slope of each of the lines. So to find the slope of each of the lines, we're going to have to use M. And what does M stand for? Slope equals rise over run. So when you're asked to find a slope of a line, you're going to use slope equals rise over run. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is find line A. On my opener, I have colors, but your guys' opener, I know the lines are a little bit confusing, so I apologize for that. So we're going to start with line A. I'm going to start at the very top left, and I'm going to look all the way down to the bottom right. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find my lattice points. Now you can choose to find every single lattice point of that line if you want to, or you can choose just to find 2 lattice points and use those 2 lattice points to determine the slope. I'm lazy, so I'm going to find 2. So if I start at my top left corner, my first lattice point is going to be right here. And then if I slide down my line, my next lattice point is going to be pretty close to it, right? And then I can keep finding them on and on and on and on and on. Now, if you chose to use a different lattice point, you might have used the first one and the third one here. What happens if you use the first lattice point and the third lattice point? What are you going to have to do to your answer? Reduce. Okay? If you did that, that's completely fine. It's not wrong. It's just a little more work. So looking at line A, what kind of line is it going to be? What kind of slope does it have? Just looking at it.
Which one?
Line A. What kind of slope does line A have just by looking at it? Is it positive, negative, undefined, or 0? It's going to be a negative. So I find my first lattice point. My rise means I have to count up or down to get to that second lattice point. So am I going to count up or down? Down what?
1.
And because I know it's a negative and I count it down, it's going to be a negative 1. And then my run, how many spots am I going to have to count over? 1. So the slope of line A is negative 1 over 1. Okay, now let's look at line B. Line B is over here all by itself. Looking at line B, I could go through and I could find the lattice point, and it's going to be every single horizontal grid line. But for line B, do I really need to find the lattice points? Is it really necessary to find the lattice points to tell me what kind of slope line B has? No. What kind of slope does line B have? Undefined. So all you have to do for your answer is write undefined. Or you can write undef. That's fine too. So it's going to be undefined. Basically, it would be 1 over 0. Well, remember, if I have 1 candy bar, can I divide it into any groups? No, it's already automatically 1 group. I can't divide it into 0 groups, so that's why it's determined undefined. Okay, moving on to line C. Line C is the bottom here. Line C goes from the bottom left to the upper right. What kind of slope does line C have? What kind of slope does line C have? Just by looking at it, you should be able to tell me if it's positive, negative, it's a positive. So I'm going to find my lattice points. Remember, my lattice points are where the grid lines cross, and that line goes right in the corner of the grid lines. So here's a lattice point. Then my next closest lattice point is going to be here. Okay, so what do I find first? I go up 1 because I'm finding the rise. So my rise is 1. Ooh, my rise is 1. And then my run is?
3.
Count it again.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope of line C is 1 over 4. And my last line, line D. Looking at line D, what kind of slope does it have? Negative. So I find my lattice points. So line D shares a lattice point with my line A. And I keep going down, find my next lattice point. And then I can keep finding them if I want to. Don't need to. So I'm going to use the two lattice points that are closest together. So first I find my, what? What do I find first? My rise. Am I going to count up or down? Down. How many? 2. And we said it's a negative line, so it's going to be a negative 2. Then what's my run going to be? 3. How'd you guys do on that front side? All right, flip it over to the back. Now, this is where you're going to want to make sure that you have your slope formula on the back side of your notes written down.
Do you divide them and multiply?
You did it right. So on your quiz, I am not going to give you the slope formula. You're going to have the slope formula. Bless you. So on the back side of your notes, so on the back side of your yellow note sheet, make sure you have the slope formula written down. Okay, so again, find the slope of each of the lines passing through each pair of points. In order to do that, you're going to have to know what the slope formula is. Our slope formula for finding the slope of ordered pairs is m, because that stands for slope, equals what? What's my slope formula, Brendan? What's my slope formula? No, y2 minus? No. Help him out. y1. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So your y's are on top, your x's are on bottom. So when I go to find the slope of my ordered pairs, I'm going to go ahead and label them so it's easier for me to determine which numbers I plug in where. Now, because 2, 5 is the first order pairs listed on my opener here, those are just going to be labeled x1, y1. My second ordered pair, I just label x2, y2. Now with this information, I'm going to use my slope formula to substitute my numbers. So I'm going to put m equals, because I have to put m equals to show that I'm finding slope, and because I don't want to lose that point on the quiz. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the formula. So y2 comes first. So what do I substitute for my y2? 9. My operation sign, according to my formula, is subtraction. Now what do I plug in for y1? 5. So over x2. And then my operation sign is minus x1. 2. Good. And now I subtract. What's 9 minus 5? I subtract my bottom, 4 minus 2. Now, with this I'm not done because I'm going to have to reduce or simplify. 4 over 2 can be reduced. You can either use your calculator to do it for you, or you could reduce if you know what both numbers are divisible by. If you have the calculator do it for you, it'll just give you a what? So if you type in 4 fraction button 2, what it'll reduce down to? A 2. So because I'm doing slope, what do I need to put up under that 2? What do I got to put up under that 1? Because I'm doing... What do I put up under that 2? A 1. You guys are dead. Are you dead or you just don't understand what you're doing?
Wait a
Just
minute.
dead.
I don't know what I'm doing. You said yesterday we don't divide.
I'm just
You don't
dead.
divide. You reduce. All right. All right, let's try another one then. All you're doing is you're using a formula and just plugging numbers in and solve it. So again, my first ordered pair, I label x1, y1. My next one is x2, y2. Because I'm solving for slope, I'm going to put m equals. Now I look back at my formula up here for slope. I use y2 minus y1. Well, what's my y2? Yeah, what's the number that is for y2? 0. So 0 minus, okay, what's y1? Negative 4. Over, okay, what do I put in for x2? Minus, for x1? All right. Two negatives that touch, what happens to them? Change to a positive. So I'm going to do that on the top and the bottom. So now I have at the top 0 plus 4, which is, then on the bottom I have negative 1 plus 3, 2. So I have 4 over 2, just like what I had up above. 4 over 2 reduces to what?
2 over 1.
2 over 1. And that's your answer. All right, my last one here. Label them. First ordered pair. Second ordered pair. I start with my m equals. All right. 6 minus 12 over
Negative 5 minus negative 1.
2 negatives touch and changes to a,
Positive.
okay. So then I have 6 minus 12, negative 6, there you go. Then I have negative 5 plus 1, negative 4. Two things I need to do here. Two negatives equal a what? Positive. So I'm going to get rid of my negative signs because I have a negative on the top, negative on the bottom. 2 negatives equals a positive. And then what's 6/4 simplified? Use your calculator. 6, fraction button, 4. 3 over 2. Final answer. Thank you. It's our meeting. For me and you.
I got a meeting today.
Sure do.
Right now?
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, wow.
Why? So I can get another bad sub report?
No, I ain't
All right.
gonna say that.
That's it.